games. So, Joe, Sean, final thoughts on sports? Anything you've seen that you wanted to rant about? Anything that you thought about when it came to any sport? You're like, you know what, this gets on my damn nerves. What's something that gets on your damn nerves about sports right now?
Try, Bellon.
Well, it's funny, Matt.
Joe?
No, I'm still
Joe?
here. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? I've lost you guys for a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Look, I think this is funny, Eric. You and I called this a long time ago, a number of podcasts ago, when we said that they ought to put Stephen A. Smith on whatever it is now, First Take, permanently, so that it would be clear that show is nothing but theater. And they did that, and it is nothing but theater. But that hasn't made it any better. I was really hoping that, after they got taken down, that they would have a moment of reflection and that show would change. And it's now completely unwatchable. It's not funny. Mm-hmm. It's not a pop culture touchstone anymore. It's unwatchable. And ESPN should be ashamed of themselves. They're rapidly turning into kind of the douchebag network when it comes to their coverage of sports. And that show kind of leads the way. If I had a magic wand to wave, I would get rid of that show. It needs to go the way of CNN's old Crossfire show. It's hurting America, in the immortal words of Jon Stewart, and it needs to go. Listen,
I'll let Sean go last, but the thing that I wanted to end on that's gotten on my nerves, Roger Goodell should be fired. We talked about Roger kind of being on the right side of protecting the Shield when his story first came out. Now he looks terrible. And he's even getting blamed for the referees, even though the owners are the ones that probably propped up the Goodell to not have the referees in. But Goodell looks bad. He's got players coming out. He's the commissioner when former NFL players are suing because of concussions. People are blaming him for, essentially crippling the New Orleans Saints with no evidence. The Packer fans are berating him because of the fact that you get the real referees into the league the game after the Monday night debacle, which clearly showed that replacement refs were not very good. I will make this proclamation right now. Roger Goodell will be the scapegoat for everything that, if you protect the Shield, then you've got to fire the thing that makes the Shield look bad. And I think that he will end up getting fired because he is the only negative that is happening versus vis-a-vis the Shield. But Roger Goodell has looked terrible, and he should be fired. He should be fired, and the Major League Baseball umpire should be fired, calling a fucking infield fly rule in the goddamn outfield.
Hey, Eric, I have a question for you about that, though, because if this becomes a thing, we'll definitely have to come back to this issue. But there's a difference between whether he should be fired because he deserves it, and he will be fired because the owners are going to make him a scapegoat. Is it one of those, or is it both of those?
I think he should be fired. I think he will be fired because I think there's going to be the risk that a massive lawsuit is going to come from the Saints, particularly the players. There's already lawsuits now. But now you've got Cortez Kennedy coming out and saying Goodell fabricated evidence that claimed that he said that there was a hit on Brett Favre in that infamous game. And I think that if that becomes a bigger issue and there are more lawsuits pertaining to this and pertaining to how he deals with punishment of NFL players, I think that at some point Goodell's kind of controversy, kind of in the same way as the cyclist Lance Armstrong kind of recused himself from Nike and from the cancer charity, in that same way, because he now becomes a distraction to the NFL as opposed to being the guy behind the Shield to make sure the Shield looks bright, spotless, and clean.
My only question is, where is the elite quarterback play in the NFL? This time last year, we had 4 quarterbacks going for record numbers, making all kinds of touchdowns. And this year, we haven't seen it. In the immortal words of one of my friends, Bo Stanley, I miss the lockout. All right? This is where you could put up points, where teams were getting blown out, and you can actually depend on a quarterback. All right? As a 49er fan. I know that I have no right saying anything about the quarterback position whatsoever. But at the same time, I'm not really seeing it, man. Defenses have really stepped up. I've liked that about the NFL. There are more young defenses. And from that, I don't know. It seems like the year of the quarterback is definitely over, and we're finally seeing old school football again.
Well, here's a question. There's somebody talking on the football league. Let me get this in real quick. Who's the MVP of the NFL right now?
Eli.
Who?
Eli Manning. I'll admit it.
Who is it? I'm sorry. I seriously didn't hear you.
Manning.
But, okay, Eli Manning.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was getting like a Mike Jones situation.
No.
I don't want to say that any more time.
Right now it's Matt Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, no huddle offense, being able,
It's all it's Matt Ryan.
Right. Who you got, Mathis?
I think if Houston, I'll go. It's probably going to be a quarterback, probably Matt Ryan, maybe Eli Manning, but J.J. Watts has been fucking awesome now down in Houston. I might consider him. He's definitely the defensive player of the year.
Yep.
So, what about dark horse Percy Harvin?
No, if there was a dark horse, I would go with.
If you're not the best player on your team, you can't win.
Sure. I mean, he gets more looks than anybody else, and he's probably getting the same amount of catches as AP, and he's definitely changing the game more. Like, AP is just doing his job.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure. It's not. When I say his name, it's going to seem odd as a dark horse, but Peyton Manning.
That's
if
not
they
odd.
constantly keep coming back in the second half, if they constantly always come back in the second half and win football games, he's going to be looked at like the quarterback who does the most. He's going to look like how he does when Indianapolis goes 12-4 with that team with nobody on it.
Yeah, I don't think he is the MVP, but if you want to make that argument, the way you say it, I think, is when Tebow was playing at Denver, we all said, "Well, it's amazing how well Tebow's doing because they don't have any wide receivers." Well, then Manning shows up, and what do you know? They actually have some wide receivers. You know, to me, that's a real argument for why he might be the MVP.
No, I think I agree with all of those things. Well, I think we've done an admirable job of covering sports. If anything, we've proven that three debaters actually know what debate is. This is the Missed on Point podcast. For myself, Joe Bellon, Sean, Sean, you've got to come back, man.
I got to do this. It's fun, actually.
Yeah.
We will definitely do this. Maybe we'll take this on the road. Absolutely. But on behalf of myself, Sean Ridley, and Joe Bellon, this is the Missed on Points podcast. We will see you all next week with Rapid Fire.